Today is May 10th, 2026. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. Of course, today, idiots. A lot of them. Where do you get your cheap high off of saying something to a rape victim that was almost murdered? For a rapist? Hmm? Where do you get a cheap high out of harassing a rape victim? And where did your parents go wrong raising you right? And teach you not to act this way? Where were you raised with no morals? I was in Walmart 62. Now, I worked last night. I came home, I laid down for an hour, maybe a little more. Couldn't sleep. Supposed to have early lunch with my son, and then he wanted breakfast, and then we ended up going to this restaurant, and I couldn't hardly eat the food. It wasn't any good. And then we went to Walmart 62. Mixed of people saying stuff. Some people were saying we all heard her scream in the car the other night. We listened to what she said. What attorney's office? Nobody ever came over and talked to me. What are you talking about? Where they said they kept me so drugged up there, they were drug being raping me, and she didn't realize what was happening. I thought it was a dirty well water give me cancer. I never seen that or talked to anyone. In August 4th of 25, they admitted to using hypnotic drugs on me, where they always said they used amnesia drugs. I looked it up. It does cause sleepwalking. You couldn't drive a car, eat, cook, have sex, never remember anything. It's a perfect date rape drug. It causes a metal taste in your mouth, makes you sick when it wears off. Okay? When they drugged me and told me to say it before. August 5th, 25, as if Agent John didn't know. They were using hypnotic drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before. He was telling people he knew she was being drugged, beaten, raped, and didn't care before the case started. He let him even torture her as he's some kind of coward. August 7th, 25, Walmart 62. Investigators in there saying, they got him tape saying all that. Okay. August 31st, 25, Summit Mall, upstairs in Macy's. There's a bunch of men up there. One answers the phone. It is documented, verified. They used hypnotic drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before. That's why she has no memory of these people. And she had that metal taste in her mouth. No one's allowed to say a word. A lady downstairs was talking. She said, I told everyone not to say a word to her. Do you realize with her having no memory of those people, what we have to look like yelling at her? You look like demons of hell. Demons of hell. Some human trafficker, some rapist running a drug scam on me. They admitted in September of last year they were in Walmart 62. When I walked by rooms, they were hiding behind doors and reach out and stab me real quick. And she don't remember being stabbed. And I thought, I remember thinking I got stung or bit. Go out and sit down and take a drink. And the room went dizzy and black. I was talking to Carl. I said, this is what they said they did to me. I said, now you got to think, if you don't think anybody's in your home, you don't know to look. You just think you got bit or stung. I said, I'm going to turn off the light. I'm going to stand in this room. Walk by that, you're going to go to another room. And I said, so if I reach out and went like this, real quick, what would you have thought? He said, I would have thought something stung me or bit me. I said, exactly. I never talked to anybody, never had anybody in my home. I only had family repair guys, installation guys. And two silly officers in August of 2018 came out at midnight, 911 call. Light. We only had 3 cameras, only on the outside, nothing on the inside. Front porch, back porch, side yard. We had a light in the security system. They came out with the 911 call, said it looked like an alien orb, angry spirit, told me to buy a dog and let a dog handle it. They didn't want bothered. I didn't talk to anybody else. Or I didn't have anybody else in my home. I didn't talk to any other law enforcement. My neighbor next to our house on John Thomas Road, I was collapsing in the front yard. By the second week outside, he come running over. My nurse can help you. I don't know what's wrong with me. My heart's racing through my neck. I can't breathe. Got marks on me. I'll mow your lawn for you. I don't have money to pay you. Neighbors don't pay each other. Makes a bunch of small talk, and he talks me into letting him mow my lawn for me. Okay? And it kept happening and happening. And the only thing new to me is that house. It was orange. The well water was orange. It was disgusting. It took us a couple months to get a water treatment system in. I thought it was toxic. Because I kept getting sick just bathing in it. You have to take a fast shower. You have to, wash your hands, have to go to the bathroom, but brought in bottled water, cook and drink. Never had anybody in my home. Never seen anyone. And I got orange, lemon, and grapefruit sized bruises all over me. Severely infected, throwing up, and almost passing out. And I'm going to the doctor, being seen for all these, asking if it's so dirty well water. And nobody thought of a rapist. I talked to a nurse last year, and I said, I feel stupid thinking it was the well water. And actually, I talked to a doctor about that. Said, well, what did it have in it? I said, different types of iron. Iron wouldn't do anything. But if it had a severe toxin in it, it would have caused everything. It's not stupid. It's actually logical. A nurse, I had talked to her before that, a while before that, and I said, we always want to think it's the well water, that there's something wrong with it. Autoimmune, virus. But in our back of our head, we know rapists do this to victims, and they prey on people in their homes under drugs. Okay? I never talked to anybody, never had anybody in my home, not even my neighbors. And people breaking in my home, hiding and stabbing me with drugs as I walk by, then raping me. It's really not funny. And drugging me up and telling me to say stuff I found out. Photoshopped washing in the shower, in the other room, and the rapist tapes. People Dave hired on his own, my ex-husband, to run a drug scam on me. Today, in Walmart, people were talking. We all heard her scream in the car when she thought one of the people that tortured her were in that office. She freaked out. And a lady said, well, we all heard. She never had anybody in her home. And the investigators in December of 23, January of 24, when the case first started, they had Karen. So Karen's ex-husband kept her so drugged up there. They were drug beat raping her, and she wasn't realizing what was happening. They said it was a judge up there messed up in the drug cartel and everyone to stay out of it. And they found out it's just some guy saying he was a judge. They're fake sodium pentothal reports. I never talked to anybody, never had anybody in my home. See where their crimes are, where, they taped her, blah, blah, blah. Where did they get it? I never had them in my home. I never talked to them. The Druxen told us the black and blue marks, severely infected, where they were human trafficking me under drugs, running a drug scam on me, where they were just going to scare me into calling the FBI and extort money out of them. December 1st, 25, this whole thing was a scam to extort money from the government. Her ex-husband was involved. And that the doctor from before was not one of hers, works for them, and they had lied. He was one of her doctors. And that guy Pete running his mouth about her, she don't even know who he is. It's just some guy Dave hired on his own. And these people admitted to using hypnotic drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before. She has no memory of these people. And the tape of Weird with Yourself is nothing but photoshopped her washing in the shower in the other room. And the whole thing's a scam. Just to extort money out of the government. They want to scare me into calling the FBI. Them open a case and trick that agent out of the money. They could have killed me at any time. They're stabbing me with drugs while I'm walking by, stabbing me in my sleep, raping me. They could have did a home invasion, found me dead, found my body somewhere else. But they didn't kill me. They scared me into calling the FBI instead. That was their whole plan. Okay. So people were saying, we know none of this is funny. While others were saying, we all found out she has degenerative joint disease in her knees, and the massive swelling was pushing her legs out of place. And they had to keep her in braces and keep draining her knees till her muscles got strong enough for her to walk again. That church saying they were getting even with her for faking she was sick, she wasn't faking. Then I had other nitwits laugh at me in Walmart today. How, oh, that church was getting even with her for faking she was sick, so they put her on a child molester site. That's not even funny. I have one traffic ticket, 1989. You know, yesterday I had some guy in Myers saying, the guy that writes everything down for us, said that she had said that she never even had a bad thought in her head before like that. Dave and I didn't even talk like this. In 2011, I was going down to Blaylock's. Been going down there since 2010. Okay. At first, everything was really good. Danny and Jen was coming. Her mom, a bunch of other people started coming, and it was nice. Okay. Then things were starting to be said that weren't true. I was sitting in church, and behind me was Leah and Esther, and they said she sits around playing with herself, watching porn, and we're in church. She's drunk and drugs in the front yard, run around in a bikini. I turned around and I went, who on earth are you talking about? They said, oh, it's supposed to be you. Well, I teared up. I'm like, my God, that never happened. I said, dear God, I don't even have a cable. I just have an antenna. Stuart Little, too, plays all the time because the babies are always over. I told Dave some of the stuff they were saying like that. He said, how dare they make up stuff on our home, Karen? We don't even sit around talking to anybody like that, nor would we let anyone talk around us like that. We have a rated G house because we have little ones running around our home all the time. How dare they? They're not in our home. They wouldn't know what we watch and what we don't watch. And how dare they make up such vicious lies? We don't even talk like that. And we don't sit around people that don't. Because we were a Christian home, I didn't even swear. Get the idea? Dave and I talk about it on a tape, that how they used to make up dirty stories on me. I went to church one time. Jim Pridgett had said, I hate going to work if I have to work around that Brother English. All I hear is how you're on drugs, you're drunk, you're wild and crazy. I come to church and you're fine. I said, I haven't seen or talked to him in 8 years. Don't listen to him. It was just like when I went to walk with Francis. And I said, Francis, go for a walk with me. Francis Calgo. I said, why are people making up these crazy stories? And she said, well, Mary hates you. I said, why would Mary hate me? I haven't seen her in 8 years. She stopped dead in her tracks, looked, smiled like the Grinch that stole Christmas. Okay? Started laughing. Is that what's going on? I said, what's going on? You don't know? I said, no, what? Never mind. And she laughed and laughed, making up stories on somebody they hadn't seen or talked to in 8 years. You know, my niece Heather, she's told me back in 2011, she said one day these people will learn it's wrong to lie on people. One day they'll learn. The absurdity of these people getting away with this for one day, they should have been nailed to that agent's desk. The absurdity. And then people were laughing at me. That church called her a faker, so they were allowed to hurt her. Nobody's allowed to hurt you. It's right on Google. If an FBI agent allows somebody to revenge harm you, they go to jail for attempted murder 20 years. They're not allowed to let them hurt you. You got to think they have to protect you in federal prison. That's why they have guards. Okay. We're going to have another talk. When the case first started, within a few months, I called that office. One of the agents that was working my case, he wasn't there anymore. They said he was no longer with the FBI. He's not the ones on the login to protect the custody cases of the cartel, is he? I mean, it's a good question. It's a good question. That Henry Moffey has to be that Will guy. Okay? Because what he said in my community health, I told you on April 9th, 26th, I was in there. And I have injuries that are lifelong from the FBI case. I got stabbed in the neck, bashed in the back of the head, got the size of a hammer in the back of my head. They said it should have killed me, but I stutter now when I get upset. Was being raped and left for dead. I was out for 6 hours. I had migraines for 2 years. Had to be treated for more than 2 years. I stutter now when I get upset. I need surgery on my eyes. I went to the doctor 2 years ago. They said you got 2 small, tiny cataracts in your eyes. They probably won't grow. Well, my eyesight changed really bad. I went back. They said they're fast growing. Did you have 2 eye injuries at one time? I said no, but I got bashed in the back of the head and knocked out. He looked at me funny. I went home and I Googled it. Being bashed in the back of the head years later can cause fast-growing cataracts. They have to be removed or I'll lose my eyesight. Until this is cleaned up, I've been trying not to get my eyes fixed because where they're going around lying to doctors, I don't want to end up blind. It's that serious. Where people are making a joke out of this for rapists trying to steal from the government, and that's the only thing going on. They just want to scam money from the government. They're running a con on me. Where do people find drug dealers running a con on somebody trying to steal from the government funny? And victimizing people like this. Well, April 9th, 26th, after that nurse came in and I told her I still have pain from some of the injuries that I got. And she walked out and I told Carl, I said, I have to go to the bathroom. She's out there, so unprofessional. Oh my Lord. I about died when she said drug dealers hurt her. The FBI said they're running around making fun of her for saying drug dealers hurt her. They were here getting her medical records, telling us how they all run around making fun of her. It is illegal for the FBI to run around making fun of victims or their informants or anybody. It's 5 to 20 years. You want to play? That wasn't the FBI. All right. I reported that, that day the doctor came in. He was really rude and nasty. Okay. And when he was rude that day. And when we go to leave, he walks out ahead of us and he didn't turn around and look. Walked up and said, I got a phone call to make. He picks up the phone. I know you like watching her. He said it's funny. She thought it was drug dealers she was yelling at, and it was us. She thought drug dealers were coming at her. I did have drug dealers coming at me. People showed up. Who those idiots? Give her medical records to Officer Mark got them in 2018. They said it was medical malpractice and medication errors that made her sick before. Who did they give her medical records to? And what do you mean someone's watching her? And what do you mean Altman Hospital doctors are helping raping people with drug dealers in their homes. She really did have she was really yelling at drug dealers, and she did have drug dealers coming at her. That's how not funny this is. Okay. May 8th, 26th, I have a pulled muscle in the side of my neck right here. When I was really sick, I had to go through pain management, which doctors, I really don't like them, but trigger point injections where they put steroids right into your muscles, they hurt like hell, but they'll stop spasming for a month, and it relieves the pain. And before I had to have anything else done, I want to get my neck fixed because it feels like almost like you've got something too tight around your neck because it's clenching right there. It's uncomfortable. It's just a pull muscle, okay? So that doctor came in, and I told him, I said, well, I went through pain management years ago after I had a bunch of surgeries. I had to have a lot of trigger point injections. I want to go to a pain management. I need a referral to go there. And he goes ahead and gives me the referral. And we get our stuff together. He walks out ahead of us. He walks in to a staff-only room. It's a staff-only. Okay. And either that Henry Moffey was in there or he was on the phone with him. And what was said wasn't even funny. How I didn't know she went through pain management before. Bullshit. I want to say that. Bullshit. Okay? He said, I'm trying to steal all the money from the case for John and Melissa. Well, like they said, John and Melissa don't have an attorney. No one ever got hurt. Like investigators showed up yesterday. Did they not think that we wouldn't check that? Make sure nobody was ever abused? Nobody ever was. It's a made-up scenario. Okay? He said, he mentions this doctor's name. He said where she thought she was going to have liposuction. I already told him what's going on, and that John verified it for me. No, he didn't. You're a liar. John verified July 26, 25, an investigator comes in, Walmart 62, they still have it, between 8 and 10 in the morning. I told that couple never to say a word to her again. I asked John years ago, 18. He said nothing bad ever happened to him. They went to Dr. Haben on Frank Road on June 7th, 25. The kid's a pediatrician from 1984 to 2002, 18 years. Seen him several times a year. There was no sign of any abuse, no neglect, and very well taken care of children. Documented medical proof nobody was ever abused. And Melissa's kids are, of course, it never happened. Of course, it wasn't true. We made it up. They were games of pretend during an FBI case. With people saying they work for a drug lord, and she was willing to help them get away with it. She got taped telling the kids to lie, and on Thanksgiving of 18, that they made everything up. They were games of pretend, and they wanted Auntie Shell to get the house. Flora ratted them out October 23rd, 2019. Of course, it never happened. Of course, it wasn't true. We made it up. They were games of pretend. Officer John, January 12th, 22, 4:55 p.m. Stopped men at the door. What did those kids get taped stating? They made everything up. October 5th, 21 in Huntington Bank, they're talking about that girl lying. They talked about that girl lying in 19 in Illinois. They talked about her lying in 21 in Pennsylvania, May of 21. Stark County sheriffs were laughing at some guy named Kurt. If Kurt just found out those kids were lying, he's slow. They got tape saying they were lying in 18. These people showed the login. Stark County sheriffs were making fun of Massillon Police told Mount Carmel, Illinois, June 23rd to July 4th of 21, they're documenting me games of pretend. She never hurt anyone. Nobody went to the hospital. There's no police report. There's no pictures of injuries. There's no treatment for injuries. There's no investigation, no physical evidence that anybody ever got hurt. Because they're mean jokes. They called him out that Melissa could go to jail for involving herself in this. I hate to arrest her. Her kids are little. I would just write them up. They were showing off for David and his new girlfriend. I can go on and on how many times they talked about that girl lying. Everywhere. They were taped on Thanksgiving of 18 saying they made everything up. Okay? They're documenting me jokes. Okay? And on Thanksgiving of 18, when I asked John what's going on, he didn't know. He told Melissa, his ex-wife, that we were going to go through a divorce, going to be moving out. She'll just have the kids make up something, but no one can say anything bad about you. She'll have her church people make up something too, but don't worry about it. Nobody can say anything bad about you. He's the one that asked me to be a reliable name in like 2020, 2021 to watch his children after school. That he was trying to get custody back, and he asked me to be a reliable name in a court record, but I was working 2 jobs. I didn't get off the first one, let alone the second. And he kept pleading with me, and I felt horrible, but I barely made it on my own at that point. I couldn't help him. He lost his kids. He moved to Florida, married this other woman, and looks very happy and started his own church. Okay? So you don't, where they said April 24th, 25, that guy Will that has to pull off a scam here to join us. Tell him it's all wrong because that other Michelle told on him that the doctor from before was not one of hers, works for them. And they had lied he was one of her doctors, and the whole thing's a scam. See, he isn't trying to steal for them. He's trying to steal for himself, where he said January 1926 that he was trying to pull a fast one on the FBI and steal the case's money and be long gone before they knew what had happened. He's trying to steal it for himself. The cartel. Realize what he's doing. Okay, so that guy said back on May 8th, 26 in that doctor's office, he said if she goes to have liposuction or he talked to that other doctor, he's to kill her. He's to make it look like a fat ambulance or blood ambulance and look like a mistaken killer. He's already agreed to it. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. That's how not funny it is. You know, Dave in January, February 19, on a Sunday afternoon, sat down and looked at me. Karen, you don't realize you die at my choosing. I got up and left. No, I don't. That Henry Moffey works for Dave. They said yesterday in Myers and Alliance, people were talking. They said that attorney for all those kids. What do you mean he's not an attorney? He's just one of the guys Dave hired on his own. They already said that. He's not an attorney. He's just one of the guys Dave hired on his own to pull the stunt. Then again, you got to think. The law states, and it comes down to this. No money, no assets seized, but due process of the law. You have to be found guilty and sued for it. You can't just steal. And then another part of the law, no judge can just sign over anything. It's an impartial jury, set them out by per documented injury. Nobody ever got hurt. Can't, like they said on April 30th, 26, in Walmart Alliance and in Walmart 62, you can't just roofie somebody and tell them to say something like that. And you can't have mean games of pretend. You can't just make up stuff like that. You have to have proof that it actually happened. And prosecution. See, I had proof I was being harmed and not knowing what was going on. They had me so drugged up there it wasn't even funny. when people stop thinking rapists are funny. No church can be allowed to hurt you. No agent can allow them. That is a federal crime of attempted murder. It's right on Google. By the way, Henry Maffei, I did submit a tip to the FBI last night under domestic terrorism, and I listed you and where to find my case. Oh, we'll put it out there. All the people that were trying to steal from the case, you're never going to get a dime. But if you want to make money on the easy money, they give rewards out for information on domestic terrorism groups. You got the login to the case, go on to FBI, submit a tip. Send them the login and everything you know on these people, you may get a reward. I did submit a tip on them. You want to get a reward money? The honest way? FBI, submit a tip. It's under other crimes. And it's under domestic terrorism. Give them the login where they're putting this on the internet. And everything you know on these people, make it a reward. Yesterday, people were talking. And we heard what she said about that doctor. I said, that doctor at my community, he better be working with the police and the FBI. Getting information out of that Henry Maffei. Saying he's soliciting commit murder. That's 20 to life federal prison. Otherwise, those big drug dealers are going to... That pretty doctor boy? He'll be a big hit in federal prison with those big drug dealers. I already reported him to state for HIPAA. That guy is impersonating a federal agent. Other people in the office said the FBI is here. He's not FBI. Good idea. Where Bruce Lewinsky, chief of police of Portage County, went on the news that they got imposters up there. People impersonating federal officers, him, police officers, fake court orders, fake arrest warrants, and trying to scam people out of money. This guy's trying to scam the FBI. Oh, the pretty Michelle that's telling on all of them. We haven't met yet. I've only seen you. I think you're badass. You already know that. Standing up there, that it. Submit a tip. You probably know more than everybody. Who they are, where they work, everything. Could get reward money, honey. I already turned that doctor over to the medical board. I'm going to do it again for HIPAA. I already reported him to the sheriffs. I already reported him to the FBI. You know, people, okay, I worked last night. I am tired. Okay. I came home. I told you I only had like 2 hours to lay down, have a cup of coffee, get a shower to go out to eat with my son and my daughter-in-law for Mother's Day. I just threw a basic skirt on, a shirt, and a jean jacket. Put my sandals on and left. Do I care how I look? Not really. Not really at all. Am I out there trying to pick up somebody? No. Am I exhausted? Yes. But at Walmart 62, that's the one that Will says she wears that jean jacket trying to cover up how fat she is. It doesn't work. He makes fun of her clothes. Well, you know what? I don't care what that effing rapist makes fun of. We're going to put it down to this. Henry Moffey, I've never met, like you said, you never met me in person. I have a really sick feeling you're probably one of my rapists, and you're probably the one that told people that you missed me. And you're such a pathetic piece of shit. You had to pay a fat drug cartel girl to lose weight, to date you, and she bragged to everybody you had to pay her to date you. Help her lose weight and pay for plastic surgery. And you have to pay her to date you. You know what makes you more repulsive? The crimes that you commit and the people that you harm makes you more repulsive to even look at. I've only seen you. I have never met you in person. And I'm sure you'll make a great asset to the federal prison, too. I have wrote the White House. I have wrote the OPR and the DOJ. Oh, and that guy that was behind the door in the doctor's office, I'll take care of the DOJ. I'll tell him what's going on. I double dog dare you. I already told him. See, that's one thing. These people where they said, we'll sell the login for $25 a pop. 18 within a month of the case starting. He found another way of making money off of it. M13 years ago came out that they were live streaming protected custody cases. People in the witness protection program, they were having them harassed and live streaming it. Well, my case was sold in 18 by that Will guy, selling government technology. People had it everywhere. I could go in different states and they had it. It was on the internet. Okay? The only thing my videos do, when I sit down and I get in front of this camera, it is very hard for me. But when I explain laws and how they're wrote, it puts common sense to their insanity and their lies. I've had a lot of people show up. We listened to her and how she quoted the laws. No one can do this. Absolutely. It stops some of the harassment. Where a year ago, I was taking someone to work, and outside their work, they yelled out, they're sending out emails with a login. I already heard about those years ago. Teenagers have this. Old people, truck drivers, people, nurses, doctors. If you don't have the login, it is very rare. So what does my videos do? Besides releasing some anger? It puts common sense in the real laws that stop everything that happens to me. And to realize, how would you like to be me? See, that's where some of the sheriffs told kids in North Canton in 23, how would you like to be her? Never seen, never talked to anybody. And somebody broke in your home and drugged you up and told you to say something. Had you being raped under drugs. You don't know who did it. And they photoshopped a shower scene and washing yourself in the other room in their own tapes. You never seen her talk to anybody. How would you like to be her? Some rapist playing with you. I'm going to go ahead and upload this. But I did it, and I'm telling you, the pretty Michelle that's been badass, submit a tip online. Go down to other crimes, and it comes up domestic terrorism. you can get a reward. You know more about these people than anybody. And it's not funny, like even people said yesterday, that Henry Mafia is now soliciting doctors to kill her. Oh yeah, I had some idiot say that she knows better to have any medical treatment. I'll have any medical treatment I have. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to that doctor's office tomorrow, and I'm going to nicely drop a suggestion of what was said around me. And you know what? They'll make sure they don't make a mistake. Because nobody wants to go to jail for premeditated murder. Get the idea. But that doctor at my community health, the reason I don't like him is he's rude. He's uncaring and rude. And for him to walk in there, I think it's funny she thinks I ought to show some respect. He should show respect to every person that he takes care of. We're paying him. He works for us. Our medical records and our treatments are to be kept private by federal law. He's supposed to only work for his patients. Caring, compassion, and empathy is supposed to be the main part of his job. And how to help heal people, not destroy and kill. He better be working with the police and the FBI to get information out of that Henry Mafia, or he is looking at life in federal. That's how not funny this is. And I went to the Ohio neck and head and ear surgeon, some lady that was impersonating a psychiatrist, I found out. Our kids were laughing, April 30th, 26th, in one of those two Walmarts, Alliance or Walmart 62. That it was just them saying it, telling them not to believe, not to help me. And that was just their mom saying she was a psychiatrist. She's no psychiatrist. Couldn't believe people fell for it. Oh, that Henry Mafia was threatening her in the doctor's office. Found out that woman told them what we're doing. I'll take care of her. You better be telling on him too. He's insane and he's very dangerous. Oh, and then he was talking about how he's going to get my husband away from me and he's going to do this and that. You're not going to touch him. You won't threaten him. But I went to the Ohio neck and ear surgeon a year ago. I had a hard ball of wax in my ear and they had to dissolve it and suck it out. And they said that how they threw that lady out. Said it came in and said she was a lady psychiatrist, said that if she ever said she was part of an FBI case, no one should believe her and help her. And we told them we didn't want to hear it, and we threw her out, threw that lady and those people out. That's what they're supposed to do with HIPAA. She probably was part of an FBI case. That's why they're running around trying to destroy it. Well, they already announced last year they're going after FBI agent John's case against the cartel, and they were going to get it thrown out. And that's where they're going hot and heavy after me now. They want where my little threat and attempt to life case led into the drug cartel. And it was the FBI's way into it. Judge Peters out of Florida, Buffalo, New York, Michigan, California, the Kingsman from Texas. Like they said, she was part of a really big bust. If it wasn't for Karen around the house, Karen's well, they wouldn't have had all that legal surveillance. They already had a court order for a threat and attempt to life case. That all those drug dealers breaking all those crimes around me. And they played a sick, mean game of who paid for the harassment. And so they got information on all those different cartels while I was being harmed. They sacrificed me. They announced last year they were going to get the case thrown out. Because that agent told on me, the Apostolic Church of Barberton, before he talked to me, you don't have authority to ask anybody to stay quiet. It's a federal crime. And he didn't pay her. He was defrauding her. Can't use fraud. See, what they did to me is fraud. Would you like drug dealers to run this kind of fraud scheme on you? Then have idiot, low-life people that are freaking morons show up and laugh at you that some rapist is playing with you. What kind of morons make fun of a rape victim? What kind of sick demons of hell make fun of a rape victim? I'm going to go ahead and upload this.